You're watching highlights of the Stow City Council meeting on August 6, 2026.
The City of Stow is proud to recognize Connor McCleary for achieving the rank of Eagle Scout, the highest attainable in scouting. Connor is the son of LTC Erickson McCleary and Stephanie McCleary, both residents of Stow also. Through dedication, leadership, Connor has exemplified the values of scouting throughout his journey with multiple scout troops located where his father was stationed. In the Army, he has earned 44 merit badges. For his Eagle Scout project, Connor designed and built 4 benches and an immersion tank. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, Jim. I can see that right now. For soldiers at Fort Carlson Rail Yard. And I know your dad has to be very proud in your mom. Connor will be a sophomore this year at Stillman Falls High School, where he will join Troop 270 in Stow to continue his journey in scouting and to lead by example in his own community. So on behalf of the City of Stow, we commend you, Connor, for your outstanding achievement, your commitment to service, and your promise for a bright future. Congratulations, Connor.
Okay, am I on? You guys can hear me now? Okay. Thank you for the warm welcome, Mayor. I appreciate that. My name is Missy Littell. I'm the director of the Stow Munroe Falls Public Library. I've been in libraries for almost 30 years, and I'm really excited to be home in my own hometown and my own home library doing this good work in our community. So thank you for allowing me to step up to the mic and introduce myself. I'm just really excited to work with you all. Thanks.
We hired our first 2 SRO officers. What a neat thing. So we're putting those into the school. We were a little bit behind times, but we're going to catch up here. And like I said, very, very, very good thing. It's one of those things that we look at saying, hope you never need them. But also, too, it's a good support system, as Chief Prosecution said this morning, welcoming them. It's very important to where our kids know the officers and be able to relate to them. And these 2 officers, and they are sworn police officers, will be able to relate well with our students and our children. And what a neat thing. And I thank Kelly Coffey for spearheading this as we move forward into this, because like I said, it's one of those type of things we hope we never need that. But again, it's one of those things also too, we deal a lot of different things in our schools with mental health and things like that. So it's somebody another person that they can come and talk to, or if they have an issue. That being said, also too, I would like to go ahead and commend Chief Prussia and her whole staff over there of the handling. We had a young gentleman who was missing for about 24 hours, something like that, 36. And everything was fine and whatever, but very complimentary to our police department of how the situation was handled. And again, dealing with mental health, and it's one of those type of things we have to look at, saying this is how our community operates, and I couldn't be more proud. I'd be remiss, we're coming up, unfortunately, on the 2nd anniversary of the loss of Megan Kellerman, but the Kellerman family, I never have the proper words of how great a family this is. They are moving into other cities with Megan's way out, not just Cog Falls, but different cities around us. We've visited a state house. We're going to move this thing through the state and so forth, and Stow will be there for the Kellerman family. And like I said, it was a tragic day, but I do not have the words to express of how they have implemented this plan so professionally and so forth that we're moving forward with this. So again, they know my sentiments. And so the word is getting out there. And like I said, I don't understand even how they do it. The Kellerman family is just remarkable that way. They have taken something so tragic and devastating and turned it into something so quickly. And I would be remiss of not recognizing both Zach Cohen and also Drew Riley for spearheading this and moving this thing that quick. And it's not just to avoid tragedy like that occurred with Megan, but we always look at, and I look at now all the time, if we're in a drive-through, if you had a heart attack or you had something else happen to you medically, can our first responders get to you? And it's just common sense. So again, I throw that to the Kellermans. We're going, unfortunately, on the second year, but Megan's life will never be forgotten because of them, and I appreciate that. So.
Feedback that we received was passing Megan's way out as a reaction to how you can turn tragedy into civic engagement and engaging in a zoning process. That was one thing that the National Civic League put on our feedback as this was something that resonated across the entire country. So that just to see it pass in other cities and hopefully at the state, it's nice to see that that we're able to do something out of a tragic event.
Just real quick, good article today in the Beacon Journal on flock cameras. Summit Metro Parks is now using them, and they have an 80% reduction. They said the 13 flock cameras located near park entrances have been used to help law enforcement investigations into property damage, theft from vehicles, and helped people who are missing or in a suspected mental health crisis. So it was a good affirmation of our decisions on flock cameras. For Tuesday, August 11th in here, anybody, and this is mostly for residents listening, the property reappraisal valuation, there'll be somebody here between noon and 8. You can certainly come in. I've spoken to one resident who I'm going to meet her here, I hope, and talk to the county on.
Again, a lot of people think, okay, this is just smoke and mirrors and nobody's going to listen. But if you do have concerns about your property valuation or thinking it's too high or something's not right, please show up for this. They are here for that reason. They're here to listen. One thing I'll tell you also, too, a lot of this is spurred at state level. So when we look at Summit County, it's easy to go ahead and say Summit County, well, they're following the laws of Ohio. And it isn't a city of Stow. But again, it doesn't matter. We know that this does cause hardship for some people, and every little dollar then trickles and becomes the next step. But please show up. That's what they're here for. I know last time we were here, I think last time, unfortunately, was 3 years ago, I think it was, and it looked like voting day here. So again, it's, please speak up. I mean, because this is your opportunity to do so. So,
it's hard for somebody to look at their property value and say it went up over 20% or 19%. And sort of the letter sort of appeared like it was mandating it. And yeah, it does come from Columbus. And then now you also have that initiative that's still in the process of abolishing real estate, the property taxes. And that would be devastating for every community within the state if they would do something like that, because, as to what all these do fund. Through the property taxes. So,
and that's a great thing to be in the place of, to go ahead and make sure our city moves forward in the proper way, to where we're spending those funds properly and so forth like that. So again, not every city can say that, but we are sitting very well. And it's because of the guidance of the finance department, and people are sitting up here at this front table.
And on the topic of the flock cameras that Mr. Feldman raised, I wanted to thank Chief Prusha for forwarding council an invitation yesterday to a virtual meeting with the CEO of Flock that Councilwoman Coffey and I attended together this afternoon, and were able to express some of the questions that we've received from residents and get some answers regarding how the city can adjust its settings with extra precautions to assure that our data is not being shared with outside agencies, and also gave us reassurances that the flock cameras themselves are narrowly at the license plate readers, and that when people see videos purporting to show flock being used to track people and show images, that those are actually different types of cameras. The flock cameras themselves are actually only limited to reading the license plates and identifying the cars. That ordinance passes and will take effect in accordance with the rules.
2026-136, an ordinance amending Chapter 115 COS entitled Personnel Policies, Procedures, and Payroll.
And I just want to get his assurance that, I mean, if you read the article in Cleveland.com about Amherst, I mean, a developer bought 3 buildings and he's going to put data centers in them. And it's a little scary, and how much talk there is nationally about data centers. So I just hope, Mr. Riley, we're going to review all that and make sure we're not stuck, and we're good on what we are getting ready to approve here with a third reading.
No, not to say anything, we'll actually have the benefit of having 2 planning directors look at this because of the timing of it, because Zach helped craft this originally. We're also going to have Pete review this before it's voted on. So I feel very confident in the way that this legislation's written.
2026-121, a resolution pursuant to Article 22 of the Charter of the City of Stow, ratifying approval of 2027 Capital Improvement Plan and declaring an emergency. 2026-126, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to make an interim professional contract with E.L. Robinson Engineering for stormwater detention study at 2 locations without the necessity of public bids and declaring an emergency.
This is the property on Hibbard that we bought in 2024 that we're now doing a study to see if it will help with stormwater. Am I correct on timeline and what we're doing?
Yes, you're correct. Yes. There's that area is for, there's no vacant properties there, but that is for, there are deep lots. So we're looking to see if we could utilize a couple of those properties to get a benefit.
127, article pursuant to Article 22 of the Charter of the City of Stow, amending the 2026 capital improvement budget and requesting funds in the 2027 capital improvement budget for a rooftop solar array on the safety building and declare an emergency.
So the administration has requested that we only do a first reading tonight, but is there any discussion? Seeing none, that will constitute the first reading. Will the clerk please read item E by its title?
2026-128, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to make an enter into a contract with Akron Freightliner, Inc. for repair parts and labor for the street department without the necessity of public bids and declare an emergency.
That ordinance passes and will take effect in accordance with the rules.
2026-129, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to make an enter into a contract with Thomas Electric, Inc. for electrical work and materials and emergency backup generator without the necessity of public bids and declare an emergency.
We've got police and fire, dispatch talking. We've got a lot of people talking for what happens during an emergency. And our electricity goes out an awful lot. So we want to make sure we're taking care of our most vulnerable residents.
Yeah, and we just want to educate our seniors that they can opt into this program where they can have Rotary Club members check on them in the event of a prolonged power outage, and that we will be able to use the community and senior center as a place for them to go during that time. Thank you.
2026-131, an ordinance establishing a special fund for operation of the amphitheatre and to appropriate monies in the fund and declaring an emergency. 2026-133, an ordinance authorizing the expenditure to Rob and Belinda Boucher, Stow residents, as settlement of their Munroe claim against the city for water damages incurred and declaring an emergency.
Any discussion? I'll say that I agree with the administration. I think this claim is excessive, and so I intend to vote against it. Mrs. Coffey?
Yeah, I also feel like we don't have enough information or anyone here to answer questions, so I agree.
That ordinance fails. Will the clerk please read item K by its title?
I am Alan Mavridis, Mayor of Munroe Falls. Hello, Council. Hello, Mayor. I came here to listen, didn't expect to speak. Thank you, Law Director. We had a couple of meetings in the past couple of weeks, and we think we have a good deal with the City of Stow prosecutors, so we are on board. And thank you very much for considering this legislation tonight. Thanks.
But if you want to get any additional information, like sponsorships, there's plenty of sponsorships out there since we came up with that. So we have sponsorships, and also if you want to have a group in the event, we also will have those available. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention as we we did lose Val, old finance director that we had here a few years back, Jim Costello, and he was a good person for the community. He was on city council. He was acting mayor. And then when I left office, he actually ran for the office and ended up winning the finance director's office and served one term there. He was a very community-oriented person. So I just wanted to make sure that we acknowledged it at the full council meeting tonight.
Everybody's going, why is the school bus out there? Not this weekend, but next weekend at both Marks and the Giant Eagle on 59, we will do our Stuff the Bus. So it's a big reminder as far as that's concerned. Our residents are always so generous to the tune that they usually collect about $15,000 worth of school supplies for our students in need.
That's where the council left things this time, celebrating local service, digging into public safety from schools to stormwater and generators, and tackling big questions about property values, cameras, and capital projects. Keep an eye on future meetings for more on those budget and infrastructure plans, and check back here for the next round of highlights from City Hall.